I have to admit that, really. It's filling up, really, but I just have to admit that she doesn't fancy me.
No, I don't fancy him.
I think she likes me, but she doesn't fancy me.
I'm all over him, like a rash, whenever he's near me. So, you know, hugging him and kissing him and everything. So maybe I do fancy him, but I don't realise.
But I like her, fancy her. Well, I do think she's too thin, and I tell her. But she's such a nice girl, she should turn around, well, you're too fat, which I am.
But it's not Richard's weight that has courted attention, or his so-called sense of fashion.
When you look at Richard, your first reaction is to say, well, not everybody could wear that. He has an extraordinary taste in ties. You can see them in his dressing room. He's got this huge rack of jackets and ties. And many people think he's wearing them for a bet.
He's obviously colourblind and dresses in the dark.
You could put Versace on him, you could put anything on him. He would make it look like a Butlins sort of blazer, bless him.
People think that somebody in the wardrobe department deliberately goes around picking the worst match, but he manages to do it all by himself.
Who makes your jackets, by the way?
They are made by skilled craftsmen who toil away.
But not jacket makers. Skilled craftsmen they might be.
But Richard's not the only one whose fashions have caught the eye. Carol's become a bit of a style icon too.
It's been fascinating watching the programme over the last several years because Carol's hemlines have got higher, her hair has got shorter, and her hips have disappeared completely.
She is sexy. I think she is very sexy. There was a rough patch, granted. There was definitely a bad hair period, bad blouse period, bad dress period. But she's come out of it quite well.
Whereas before, she looked like a rather attractive schoolmistress. She now looks like something out of the Brit Awards. And, you know, the leather trousers. How this sits with Countdown and Countdown's audiences is hard to explain, but they love her.
I've been singing a hymn. Normally the audience come in at the start of the afternoon and say a prayer.
Please God, don't let Richard tell any jokes today.
And it's not just a good joke which has eluded Countdown over the years.
19 years of Countdown, and not one catchphrase associated with me. Other people get catchphrase in 10 minutes. Anne Robinson, goodbye. Chris Tarrant, final answer.
What does he say? 9 in the line. 30 seconds is the time, you see. And he gets it wrong, you see. He says 9 in the line. Let's get on with the game.
I really have tried, but somehow that's the end of part 1. See you in part 2. It hasn't really caught on.
End of part 1, and see you again in part 2.
I mean, people don't shout across, hi, Richard, that's the end of part 1, see you in part 2.
We'll see you all again in part 2.
I think the best one was Joe Brandt, who said, your catchphrase should be, please watch this programme or they'll put me into a home.
What I have got, though, I suppose, I've got a catch tune. In fact, wherever I go now, I hear it said or sung, I can hear, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, boo.
And welcome back to the second half of our 3000th edition of Countdown.
On this historic episode of Countdown, Richard Whiteley holds court with some more jovial jesting.
There's a moment, and if you're lucky, 2 moments in every show, when Richard shares his gift of comedy with the world, that mastery of wordplay, the Richard pun.
Wear short sleeves. Support your right to bear arms.
And it is fantastic because you do expect the bell to toll and the wind to blow and the Grim Reaper to walk behind him, because it is as excruciating as that.
Guarding the dictionaries, as usual, is our old friend, a man who is quite simply peerless. But then again, so is Wigan.
John Cleese had 3 rules of comedy.
1, no puns.
No puns.
2, no puns.
No puns.
3, no puns.
No puns.
Is broken every day at 4:30 in the most craven way by Richard Whiteley.
His favourite song is Bridge Over Troubled Water. But he hopes he's not crying in his beer at the end of the show. So good luck to Raymond Rees.
Puns are awful. I hate them. They're great. They're like fingernails going down a blackboard. They're so excruciatingly bad.
How do you make a forum?
How do you make a forum?
A tuum plus a tuum makes a forum.
But there's something about Richard how pleased he is to have made the pun that makes you think, oh, well, let him have his silly puns.
I tell you this, if you had got it, either of you, you'd have certainly made your mark on this programme, because... tattooing.
But one of the real countdown conundrums is, how come a would-be comedian has ended up as the host of a highbrow quiz show?
And so, that is that.
It's very intellectual quiz show, and yet you got Richard sitting there fumbling his way through, you know.
Can I just have a go?
Yeah,
Give it
sure.
away. I mean, I'm totally willing to make a fool of myself. I accept. OK. 4 minus 1 is 5.
4. How many letters is that? 5. And what's your word? House. Pardon? House. Was it mouse?
I couldn't talk to you because they were on
No,
the
I can't
script.
realise that. I've sort of said what I should have. I'm sorry. I've really made such a mess of it.
We get more letters, God's honest truth, for Richard Whiteley than we've ever had for George Clooney. Richard, you could give a cuddle to, he'd sit on your sofa, he wouldn't mind, you know, your cat occasionally having accidents.
Ooh, what a beast you are.
People recognise that essentially this is a very nice man. And they see that quality in him. And that's what they love about him. And never mind the fact that, you know, he behaves as if it's the very first time he's ever been on television.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Joan. What did I say? Thank you, clock.
I've done Countdown as only I can do it. I haven't tried to speak slowly. I haven't put on a posh accent. I haven't been hail fellow well met. I hope I haven't been smarmy.
That's why they can't use it, you see.
I think if you're on every day, you can't put on an act. You've just got to be yourself.
If someone gets an 18-point lead, it's a bit of a bugger, isn't it?
It is rather.
I don't know why I said that.
It seems Richard just can't help himself when it comes to the contestants, even though over the years 3,000 of them have come between him and Carol.
There's a great democracy of nerdiness amongst them. This is an equality of specky people. And they could be young lads
100 plus 10.
or old ladies.
I heard you were a bit of a queen of needlework.
Not really, no.
Oh, right.
There's no real glamour to the contestants, and they're not expected to show off or register great happiness.
See? Alan, you might get some points at 864.
Well, bugger me.
We all know someone who really likes doing crosswords or is good with numbers. And it's for those people, and it's nice to see those people enjoying themselves and their arcane and useless skill.
Everyone knows the best countdown contestant gets to come back the next day, but that doesn't explain why the strangest of words have a habit of reappearing.
Well, here's Barry with his 7.
Frigate.
Frigate.
Frigate. Frigate. Frigate.
A frigate, yes?
Midgets. Midget. Midget.
Midget.
Midget. Midget.
Midget.
Leotards. Leotards.
Leotards.
Leotard is always coming up, actually.
Leotards.
Countdown has taken it very seriously, and a lot of them, you know, memorise words that come up, and if they see a leotard there, they'll come out with it, because they know it'll make me laugh.
We love leotards.
You've got E-O-R-D and stuff. Fairly common. There are more of them in the selection, and I don't think we're shuffling them well enough, frankly.
Leotard is there.
Leotard.
Leotards.
Leotard.
Ah, Dictionary Corner, where the class swats and the celebrities that everybody wants to bully sit side by side, and yet everyone wants to be there.
Money for nothing and the chicks are free being a guest on Countdown. It's got to be. You're sitting in Dictionary Corner, you've got the brain box beside you, you've got the dictionary.
And if I'd been more awake, like Susie, I would have found tuxedo.
Charles Brandreth. Richard Stilgo.
I have, as you see, made a woefully inadequate effort with the sweater, and Giles has topped me yet again.
Partly what Dictionary Corner is for. Those people who think, didn't he used to be the one who did the funny songs on...
Giles Brandreth, an anagram of Herbert S. Dangley.
No, I mixed... That's the one. He was an MP, and then he's... You don't quite know who they are.
Right. So,
The extraordinary cult status of Countdown means the show has its fair share of fans from a newer generation of entertainers too.
right, so 4. And our champion, Liz, how about you?
4 as well.
Right, 4 too. So 4 each there. Good for each of you.
It's been fantastic. I admire these contestants enormously. When you sit at home, just, you know, like I do, sitting on a puff watching it at home, it's so easy just to, you know, think that it's a simple game to play. But it isn't. It's difficult.
We all ring round all the showbiz celebrities and go, did you get the conundrum? And no one ever does. But I like to tape it, actually, and give myself an hour for the conundrum.